This is Business and Economy Network.
Hello viewers, glad to know you are watching your program. This is Business and Economy Network. My name still remains Peter Nwoche. Wherever you are watching around the world, those of you watching us in faraway Abuja, Kaduna, Jigawa, and those of you outside the shores of Nigeria, it is your program. Well, let me start by way of commending all of you. Some of you have sent us mail, some of you have called. I want to say thank you so very much. That is why we're here, to serve you much more better. Now for the program rundown today. Today we are looking at in the automotive industry in Nigeria. We have the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Tilad Nigeria Ltd, a company doing very well in the automotive industry in Nigeria, and far away Ibadan, southwest Nigeria. And not left out too, for Company in Focus today we are showcasing an agency that's doing very well, otherwise called NASENI, which is the national agency in charge for science and infrastructure. The executive vice chairman, in the person of Professor Mohammed Haruna, is on the block. He's going to tell us what that agency is also doing. And also left out too, for Spotlight, we have another government agency that's in charge of information technology, otherwise called NOTAP, National Office for Information Technology Acquisition and Transfer. The Director General, Dr. Engineer Binder. They're all in the house to lend their voice on what is making their agencies very interesting, and also for the Tilad, making Tilad very interesting. It's going to be an interesting watch. I'll be back after the time out.
The durability of any automobile largely depends on the quality of maintenance and servicing. For Tilad, the immense support and patronage from the Osun State government is an attestation of its positive durability features, ranking Tilad as the most recognized and acceptable automobile company in Osun State.
In Osun State, in the next 1 or 2 years, we won't see any vehicle in Osun State except this our vehicle, because the government of Osun State has patronized us very well. The Osun State have already buy 62 from us, and they had already booked another 100 for the commercial people. They guarantee them in the bank. The people has deposited about 10%. They guarantee them in the bank. The bank have financed it, and the people are paying it. They are very happy. So they are requested for another 100 now. The durability is superb, provided when you buy a vehicle from us. If you buy it in Lagos, we'll tell you, if you want to service it, take it to so place. They will give you original spare part, and they service it for you so that you won't have any problem. But if you didn't follow our instruction, you take it to roadside mechanic, he put a fake spare part. That's the problem of our Nigerian. They started say, this vehicle is not good. It's not like that. If you buy Toyota from Elizade or Toyota or RTB school, yes, they will tell you, go and bring it to us if you want to service it. Don't take it to another roadside mechanic. That's the way we are doing it in Osun State. So everybody, they are happy. You understand me? So if not, good. When the state government guarantee those people in the bank and buy 62 for them, they won't say we want to buy another 100 again. That is true. So those people are rushed to the government, please help us. We don't have money to buy it in cash, and we don't have a guarantee, we don't have a collateral to take it to the bank. So, but the government of Osun State has helped them put a guarantee to the bank, and some people have deposited 10% to the bank. The bank, we had the remaining money, and they buy it from us, they give it to them.
With the enacting of the National Automotive Policy, Alhaji Tijani Oladosu is elected on the positive impact the policy has on Nigerian economy. Tilad is optimistic that given a few years, the policy would give room to immeasurable opportunities for job creation and the rise in national GPA.
The automotive policy of this federal government is super. Excellent. If they can continue like this, if the policy can continue, I don't think in the next 10-20 years, Nigeria can comfortable. They can't look for another country to supply us vehicles. And if they can legislate this law to back it up like China, that any product produced by Nigeria, made in Nigeria, either government or individual or anything, so anybody can buy it. No more imported vehicle. If anybody from France or anywhere want to sell a vehicle to us, it can bring the assembly plant to Nigeria and come and assemble it here. Our people can get job and so on and so forth.
Established in 1992, the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure was created. The major objectives of the agency are policy guideline, policy implementation, funding requirements, management structure, and economic guideline. The agency encourages indigenous stakeholders to produce goods and services not just for local consumption, but products that could compete internationally, both in creativity and quality.
The National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure has its history related to economic and industrial yearning of the country. We will recall that immediately after independence in 1960, the country adopted an import substitution policy, the strategy that will have fast-tracked industrial development of the country. Immediately after independence, consumer goods, textiles, even capital goods like commercial vehicles and agri machinery were assembled in Nigeria. This continued and the country enjoyed these facilities for 2 decades. However, within these 2 decades, research and development into areas of local manufacturing ability to produce capital goods locally attention was not given to it. What the country was producing was meeting the demand of the country satisfactorily. In fact, in certain areas like textile, we are even exporting to neighboring countries. However, with the oil boom of the 1970s, the oil revenue came in. As a result, the demand for high-tech foreign goods, local production was not meeting the demand because the country had money. We resorted to importation. This has reversed drastically the earlier achievement of the 2 decades of after independence. Now, with the problems in the oil world as a result of the drop in price of oil in early 80s, again with the excessive stock of oil in the market, in the world, led to a drop in revenue according to the government. The local consumption can no longer meet our foreign reserve. We cannot import the way we want, and the country has no option than to resort to structural adjustment program in 1986. The structural adjustment of the government had its plus and minus. Among its minuses, it aimed at promoting local production. However, the tooling comprising of capacity, infrastructure, human capacity, and system was not in place that will lead the country to be an production-oriented economy. As a result, the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure was set up as a result of 150-man team of professionals, organized private sector, civil servants that travel to 3 industrialized worlds and recently industrialized and even developing countries, and saw their model. How are they able to bridge the gap between economic endeavor and industrial development? Because before then, there is science, engineering, research activities, all right, but everyone was doing his own differently. There was no coupling between the engineering activities, the policy of government on one hand, and the yearning for industrial development on the other. So a blueprint was produced, which was a sum total of policy guideline, policy implementation, funding requirement, management structure, and the economic linkages that these activities will do. Therefore, NASENI was set up as a task force agency that will link the Nigerian yearning for industrial development, its own economic dream, with ability to locally produce goods and services that will match not only the consumption locally, but will help the country move away from an import-dependent economy to be not only raw material exporting country, but a country that will add value through its local technologies, through creativity, producing also goods and services that will meet international standards. NASENI is established in 1992 as a result of this effort in the passion of similar agencies in Indonesia, in Malaysia, and in Thailand. These 3 countries have their model exactly like NASENI, an agency that will operate outside the civil service bureaucracy, an agency that is engineering, science, technology oriented, that will not only do research and development, but the research activities must be need-oriented, market-driven, and the research output must directly link to the market and with full participation of private sector. This is what brought about the establishment of NASENI in 1992.
Despite the challenges of non-implementation of the policy program, the agency has, however, gone ahead to fulfill its vision by taking action plans to attain certain degree of success in producing several educational, industrial, and laboratory equipment to help in the research and production.
Thank you very much. NASENI's own mandate, system, and mode of operation is to ensure indigenous technology development, industrial development of the country using local technologies, collaborating with individual and organization locally and elsewhere overseas to ensure capital goods and services of international standard are actually produced locally, and that Nigerians will actually own the productive sector of the economy. NASENI, despite the challenges of non-implementation of the policy program and action plan of the agency, all the same has tried and has achieved certain degree of successes in producing several equipment since inception, ranging from educational, industrial, science, laboratory equipment to rotary furnaces that will help in the production and recycling of scrap iron, producing ductile steel, and certain degrees of alloys of materials. NASENI has produced several power components like pole-mounted transformers, industrial stabilizers. Again, the agency has produced small hydro turbines, even generating power in small amount in certain areas. Through research and development activities, now we have functional solar module manufacturing plant in Karachi, Abuja, installed and operated by Nigerians. And NASENI in 2013, you may say, is crude, we are past that level, but has launched first made in Nigeria motorcycle. And in 2014, launched the first made in Nigeria tricycle. And several other products are in the pipeline. In fact, we have finished modeling, design, simulation, test running of electric vehicles, unmanned area vehicles, multi-purpose aircraft, especially for agricultural requirement, heavy-duty truck, if given the resources available. So the agency has demonstrated over the years that it's capable, it has capacity of doing this. With collaboration with UNEDO, NASENI is now the center of excellence in the manufacture of small hydro turbine in West Africa. As I said, NASENI is the only agency, the only place where so far solar panel is manufactured in the country. There are other attempts in other places by both local and governmental agencies who used to come and see the model of NASENI, and we are setting out to them so that there will be proliferation of these technologies so that it can be replicated elsewhere. But this pilot plant, 7.5 megawatt, has been successful. That is our approach.
National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion is solely responsible for regulating the direct inflow of foreign technology. It evaluates the product, quality, and price. NOTAP is a catalyst to monitor, develop, and energize the internal system by incorporating of new syllables and research towards the development of local contents.
You see, in the 60s and 70s, many developing countries realized that when you talk of technology, probably when embodied technology in terms of machinery, equipment, or expertise in terms of consultants and so on, used to move the economies of these developing countries, all of these inputs used to come from Western countries. And therefore, it's like technology is synonymous to Westernization, and then using technology is synonymous to underdevelopment. And then these countries said, no, there has to be a fair for using these technologies from the development. Things will not change. So these countries come together, and then they realize that when you get technology excuse me, from the developed countries, sometimes when you negotiate with them, they negotiate on their terms. Sometimes when they bring technology, they choose what technology to bring. If they are sending consultants, they choose the level of the consultant. So you are always shortchanged, and they charge you a lot of money for these things. And therefore, these developing countries came up together through UNCTAD. They went to the United Nations and complained. We're talking the Malaysians, the Argentinians, the Brazilians, and so on and so forth. And they wanted United Nations to establish some kind of structure to protect their economies so that there can be a fair deal. But you know, United Nations is again owned by the Western countries, so to say. And they hold the vetoes and everything. And they realize that literally the whole world is their economy. And they said, no, no, no. You guys go and do whatever you like. Therefore, these countries went back and each established their NOTAP. NOTAP becoming an institution within the countries to regulate the inflow of foreign technology. So when the inflow of foreign technology is coming into the country, NOTAP now stands at the gate to say that, what technology are you actually bringing? So if the technology is listed, intellectual property rights and so on. So because we've understood it, we can say, no, 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 this one is not new. Why are you asking us to pay for it? Cancel it. Or when it is overcharged, NOTAP will check and say, no, 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 you are overcharging here, so please reduce it. If it is, say, for example, it's a patented process and the patent has lived for 20 years, it is now in public domain, so you cannot pay for it. You just use it to produce and so on and so forth. So NOTAP at the gate sees all the technologies coming into the country, how much is being charged, and constantly tells the other side of the country that, look, you are consuming knowledge, you are consuming expertise, you are consuming technology from these countries, and it is costing you this amount of money. So what is your universities doing? What are your research institutions doing? So you literally, the NOTAP is a catalyst to monitor, develop the databases of the knowledge products that you are consuming, tries internally to energize the internal system, to change the syllabus, to refocus the research and development so that we too, we can generate the local content to help our industrialization, to ensure that we know how to make roads too, so that we don't have to always pay, so that we know how to design trains and put our railway system, so that we don't always pay, so that we too, we can design and manufacture our cars, so that we don't always pay, so that we too, we can generate, transmit and distribute our electricity, so this is the brokering that NOTAP is charged with. On one side, seeing what we are consuming from outside Nigeria, and on the other side, gingering Nigerians to say, this consumption cannot continue. This is what we do.
Digital.
NOTAP stands for objectivity and clarity. It avoids compromise when influencing decision or making approval. NOTAP cultivates a bridge of friendship with foreign companies to ensure that their corporate social responsibility is executed effectively in terms of scholarship and funding of educational and developmental research.
When I came here, you know, NOTAP, if you're on the outside, yeah.
What year? When you came here,
I came here in 2009. At that time, this agency had already clocked 30 years because it was established in 1979. And yes, my predecessors, they did their best. Everyone has his own capacity and capability and limits. But they tried. They made sure that industry understood to a certain extent the functioning of NOTAP. And also the country's knowledge system is beginning to pick up what NOTAP is. And then that is where I picked up from. Since I came here, first, on the regulatory side, we tried as much as possible to be very, very firm. I mean, this job, you would have expected that a Nigerian doing this job, you are the one that approves. If you bring your agreement, we assess the agreement and we approve, it is the certificate that you take to central bank to buy foreign exchange and remit to the country where the technology is coming from. So you would expect probably some compromise, some corruption and so on and so forth, but we tried to make sure that in this agency, whoever you are, wherever you are coming from, whatever agreement, you don't have to induce anybody. If it is okay, it will pass through. If it is not okay, it will not. And I am very proud to say that my team is a very good team, and they have demonstrated that compromise does not belong to this house here. Two, when we regulate and we cut expenses here, we reduce money here, we're talking an average of every year this agency saving the Nigerian economy foreign exchange worth minimum of 300 billion naira. If NOTAP was not there, 300 billion naira worth of foreign exchange would have been remitted out of Nigeria meaning that we are influencing the unnecessary capital flight reduction. 3, because companies that are coming into Nigeria are foreign direct investors. They bring their money, they bring their technology, and they bring their expertise in management, all to make money in this country. They are not here to make sure that your universities work well. They are not here to ensure that your research develops. They are not here to ensure that you have expertise to manage. They are here to make money. It is your responsibility to say that while they are here with their money, you too, you develop your wealth creation strategy to make more money and share. This is how prosperity spreads, because someone has come to invest in your country. Because they are bringing their technology, you have to prepare yourself to learn from them, to see how do I diffuse this technology? How do I domesticate this technology? How do I indigenize it? This is your own problem. They are not going to be a party to this. 3, when they bring their management, you have to learn how to make it and then go ahead and manage other things. This is how development. So what I managed to do is that to cultivate the level of friendship with these companies that are bringing foreign technology, to say that, look, yes, it's good to make money, but you also have to think about the knowledge system. I'm happy to report to you between 2009 to date, our partnership with these industries that are consuming foreign technology, they have actually provided over 200 PhD scholarships, because it is at PhD level that NOTAP is working. When you have a PhD, you have become a philosopher, you can do research, and you can push the knowledge system of Nigeria to the next level. We managed to ginger them. Between 2009 and to date, we have also partnered with these industries to influence the research facilities in polytechnics, in universities, and research institutions. You know, we have ensured something within the region of 300 million to 1 billion naira. Industry have invested as part of their corporate social investment to ensure that our knowledge system develops to the next level.
Well, this is where time will permit us. I want to say thank you so very much, because this is where we'll draw the wrap of the program. Tomorrow, they say, is another day. As we gradually progress towards Children's Day, which is 27th, and also Handing Over Day, which is our Democracy Day, which is May 29th, one thing comes to mind: reflection. Let us think and also pray. Pray for our leaders, pray for our children, because they said the children, they are the leaders of tomorrow. Now, as we're going to change, there's going to be a change in battle in government. Let us also pray for the incoming government. More importantly, wherever you are watching around the world, let us pray for our leaders. Well, success is sure. See you at the top.